Let's face it, most people aren't making massive turkey feasts on the regular, and after 364 days of not thinking about it, it can be hard to get that bird just right. That's where Instacart, the holiday rescue app, comes in. From getting all the ingredients to prep a full seasonal spread to getting last-minute swaps in a turkey emergency, Instacart has everything a holiday host needs to save face and save dinner. And right now, if you download Instacart, you get free delivery on your first 3 orders and delivery in as fast as 1 hour. Offer valid for a limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite show? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Download the Amazon Music app or visit amazon.com/ad-free sports. That's amazon.com/ad-free sports to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime members. Some shows may have ads.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC on a Wednesday on which Liverpool travel to Sheffield to take on Sheffield United at Bramall Lane in the Premier League. Just a reminder, that is a 7:30 kickoff, not an 8 p.m. kickoff. So just make sure you're in front of the TV or at the ground a little bit earlier than normal. Liverpool are second in the league and we're 5 points behind Arsenal, but we have a game in hand. And if we win our next 2 games, which are Sheffield United away and Crystal Palace away on Saturday morning, we will be top of the league, regardless of results elsewhere. City can obviously win tonight, but they're a point behind us, and they're playing Aston Villa away. We have the easier fixtures tonight and at the weekend in comparison to them and Arsenal. Arsenal go to Villa Park Saturday evening. They'll be, all going well, a point behind us. And they haven't won either of their visits to top 10 teams this season. They've won 5 away games against bottom half teams. They're yet to win away against a top half team, draw at Chelsea, defeat at Newcastle. I almost forgot there. Defeat at Newcastle. Villa, on the other hand, have won all 6 of their home games thus far. So it's not inconceivable that Arsenal could go there and lose. I think a draw is possibly a likely result, but a draw won't be good enough for them to go back above us. So we can and should end this weekend top of the Premier League table. We just need Villa to do us a slight favour. Arsenal got very, very lucky last night in their game away to Luton. Showed some serious flaws defensively. They can't defend the high ball at all. At all. They are hopeless at defending set pieces. David Raya is not the type of goalkeeper you're going to win anything of importance with. William Saliba's weakness in the air will get exposed. Ben White's weakness in the air will get exposed. Rice is not good at defending set pieces. I mean, if you saw him on Luton's second goal and on their first, to be fair, when he jumped into Gabriel and meant that Gabriel missed his clearing header for Luton's first goal. They've got flaws. Now, what they do have is they have a fairly strong mentality to come back and win games against these poor teams, to have a belief in themselves that they will get chances. But we'll see how that translates when they play good teams, when they're behind against good teams. They obviously did get a late winner against City through a massively deflected shot by Martinelli, but we'll see what happens when it's good teams and it's games that matter. But for now, credit to Arsenal, they're top. Smaller lead than they had this time last season, less points than they had this time last season, but They're top of the league for right now. We go about the business of changing that starting tonight. We have played 5 common fixtures. The common fixture is the same opponent at the same ground. So we've played 5 common fixtures with Arsenal so far this season. Forest at home, Newcastle away, Chelsea away, Fulham home, and Luton away. It'll be 6 this weekend with Crystal Palace away. From the 5 games, again, Forest home, Newcastle away, Chelsea away, Fulham home, Luton home. Liverpool have taken 11 points, scored 11 goals, and conceded 6 goals. And yet, apparently Arsenal, who are much better than us, according to some, including some in our own fan base, which is just hilarious, they've taken 8 points from those 5 games. They've scored 10 and they've conceded 9. So we have more points, more goals, and we've conceded less goals in our common fixtures. So they went to Crystal Palace early in the season. I believe it was their second game of the year. Forest at home was their first game. And they beat Palace 1-0. Very, very fortunate result. A game in which they really did struggle and relied on a questionable penalty that Martin Odegaard scored to beat Palace. Now, part of why they struggled as well was Tomiyasu was sent off with half an hour to play. But even before that, like, they didn't look like breaking Palace down until they got a bit of a fortunate penalty. So, are we really all that worried about them? Like, they're good, but they're not great. I wouldn't say we're great, but we're in year 1 of this rebuild. They're pretty much the finished article. They're 640 million or something into this rebuild. And yet, when you listen to Arsenal fans, they still talk about needing a defensive midfielder. The manager wants Zubamendi, apparently. So that's another 60 million. They talk about needing another striker. This is despite 50 million or so on Gabriel Jesus, 60 plus million on Kai Havertz. Now, it's questionable what position he was bought to play because, well, actually, he was clearly bought to play the left side of midfield, replacing Granit Xhaka. That hasn't worked at all. So now they're saying, well, he could play up front. He could be a utility player. And 65 million on a utility player is quite the sum. But they probably do need another forward player. Don't know if it's a 9. I would say no more of a backup winger. You know, if they could find another Trossard type, that experienced player who's reliable, can come in and give you a boost when you need him. Someone like Mikel Oyarzabal would be ideal. He's a lot better than Trossard, but he can play all across the front line. If they could get him and Zubamendi, they'd be pretty set midfield and attack. But you'd still ask questions about the defence. You'd have to. And then there's the goalkeeper issue. Can you win a league title with David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale? I don't think you can. I was thinking about this last night. In the history of the Premier League, who's won a league title with a goalkeeper of David Raya's level or worse? So you look back to the early days of the Premier League and you think Peter Schmeichel, considerably better than David Raya. Peter Schmeichel's one of the all-time greats. United obviously won the first 2 Premier League titles. Blackburn win the third. Without question, Tim Flowers, considerably better. Schmeichel, David Seaman, Schmeichel. Then there's that weird 99-2000 season where United have a bit of a strange situation in goal because Schmeichel's gone and they've kind of got a hodgepodge situation of goalkeepers going on. They brought in Mark Bosnich. He was okay. The other goalkeeper they had was Raymond van der Houw. Now, he wasn't great. He only played 11 games in the league. But that's probably one that you could point at. Though I would say Bosnich was a better goalkeeper than David Raya is. But it's pretty close. It's pretty close. The following season, then, United win it again. Fabian Barthez significantly better. Arsenal win it with David Seaman. United win it again in 02-03 with Barthez. Jens Lehmann, Petr Cech, Edwin van der Sar, Petr Cech, Van der Sar, Joe Hart, David De Gea, Joe Hart, Thibaut Courtois, Kasper Schmeichel. He'd be the other one that you'd put in that mix. Courtois again, Ederson, Alisson, Ederson. There's only 2 seasons you can point at where there's a team with a goalkeeper in or around the level of David Raya who've won the title. 99-2000 United, who were a much better team than this Arsenal team. And then that Leicester team in 15-16. And remember, that Leicester team, that league that they won was kind of spooky. It wasn't very good. That's the weakest the Premier League has ever been for a single season. Now, it's not much better at the moment, but there was no great team. There was no standout team at that point. At least now you can look at City and say, well, they've won 3 leagues in a row and they're the reigning European Cup winners. We're still on the rise. We're not where we will be. Arsenal are good. But after that, you look at the league and there's some good teams and there's a lot of bad teams. It's better than that season, but not by a whole lot. 15-16 Leicester. Kasper Schmeichel's probably the worst starting goalkeeper to win a Premier League medal. I would say David Raya is more talented than him, but Schmeichel had a great focus. Schmeichel had a great ability to focus in. He didn't make a lot of mistakes, whereas Raya does. Schmeichel didn't let in soft goals that year either.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite show? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Download the Amazon Music app or visit Amazon.com/ad-free sports. That's Amazon.com/ad-free sports to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime members. Some shows may have ads.
David Raya, I think, would be the worst or second worst goalkeeper to win a Premier League medal as a starter. And I just don't think it's likely. I just don't see it as likely. City did the same thing last season where they started slowly and then just took off and went and won 15 out of 17 or something like that with a draw and one defeat. And you just when they do that, there's just no way to live with them. And I feel like that's what will happen again this year. So I'm not overly concerned at all about Arsenal. City are the team to keep an eye on. And as long as we stay ahead of them, which we can if we win tonight, and then if we win again at the weekend, as long as we stay ahead of them, we're in good shape. They've got a really tough game tonight. They go to Villa Park. Again, Villa have won all 6 of their home games. City have not been great away from home. They lost away to Wolves. They lost away to Arsenal. They drew away to Chelsea. They go Villa tonight, and then they go Luton at the weekend. Now, you'd expect them to beat Luton, but I mean, again, a draw tonight wouldn't be a shocker. And if they take 4 points from the next 2 games and Arsenal draw at the weekend, then we're in a really strong position as we head into the United game. We're getting Alisson back then. Jota's on the mend. Robbo's on the mend. Bajcetic is working his way back. It's only really going to be Thiago and Matip. And let's be honest, before the season, none of us were banking on those two because we all knew Thiago was unlikely to play a whole lot. And with Joel, you just always factor in that Joel's going to miss a big chunk of a season. It's great when he doesn't, but he generally does. Like, think back to 18-19 and 19-20 in 2021. And Joel is missing a ton of games. Between 19-20 and 2021, Joel missed basically a full season of Premier League action. Sorry, he missed 3/4 of 2 seasons. He played 19 games out of a possible 76 in those 2 seasons. The season before that, 18-19, he missed 16 league matches. So we've never really been able to rely on him. Last season, he played 14 games. Now, some of that was Ibu was playing really well, but some of it was Joel was injured. The only seasons we've actually gotten the majority of the year from Joel, his first season, he played 29 league games, and 21-22, he played 31 league games. Other than that, 25, 22, 14, 10, 9, and 10 thus far this season. But that's just been the way with him, unfortunately. And it's such a shame because obviously he's been really good. This season, I think he's been very, very impressive. He wasn't good last year, but he was great up until sort of February, March time of 21-22. He was playing really well at the start of 2021. The games he played in the title-winning season, he was quite good. And obviously he played a big role in us winning the Champions League the year before that. And in his first 2 seasons, despite the fact he was being partnered with a gobshite, he was quite good. You know, when Virgil came in, obviously things improved, but he got injured, which wasn't ideal. So we don't really rely on Joel. We don't really rely on Thiago. I think it will hopefully expedite the process of going in January and getting, I think, 2 players in is what's needed. We obviously know we need a defensive midfielder. We need a centre-back now as well. We actually also need a left-sided defender, but that's probably going to have to wait. But, you know, as we start getting our players back, if we can go in January and address some of the issues, we're setting ourselves up for a really, really strong second half of the season. We've just got to get through these couple of games. The next 2 are, you know, they're not easy. They're tricky away because they're away. But then we get home games against United and against Arsenal. And if we can beat both of them, especially Arsenal, because obviously they're in and around that mix at the top of the table, but if we beat them, having gone into the game ahead of them, I mean, we come out with a gap. We'll all be thrilled by that. United are not a good team. We should put them to the sword. But you never know. We just have to go and play the game and do what we do. On This Is Anfield, there is some preview stuff for tonight, 10 key things to know, 4 changes with key decisions in midfield on the predicted lineup. There's injury updates, good news on Ali, good news on Jota, bad news obviously on Joel. The UK government has rejected the Hillsborough Law, with new charter brought in instead. Now, what I would say to those involved in the campaign for the Hillsborough Law is don't give up. Wait until the next government comes in, because the Tories are getting destroyed in the next general election. They're going to have a historic defeat. And with a Labour government, while not the ideal Labour government, obviously, with Starmer, but, you know, push it again then, and hopefully you get human decency taking over. Pep Guardiola had some choice words for Jamie Carragher. So Jamie Carragher pointed out that Pep Guardiola is a cheat, which was nice. Fulham boss says clear foul should have ruled out Trent Alexander-Arnold winner. He's talking about Costas challenging Bobby De Cordova-Reid at the back post. Costas doesn't foul him at all. If you want to look at a foul, though, you could go and look at Fulham's third goal when De Cordova-Reid climbs all over Costas. But, that's probably inconvenient for Marco Silva. Piece about Joe Gomez explaining how he plays the right-back hybrid role. One drought Liverpool will surely change versus Sheffield United. No Liverpool substitute has ever scored against Sheffield United. That's quite funny considering how much of a row there was between the two clubs over the 5-sub rule. Liverpool.com have some pieces up about tonight's game as well. Liverpool team versus Sheffield United predicted as Curtis Jones in amid Darwin Núñez decision. Curtis Jones has to start tonight. He has to start tonight. He is vital to giving us control in midfield. Pacey star who handled Mohamed Salah tipped for Liverpool as Ford transfer greenlit. Let's have a look at that. Jörg Schmatke could strike again for Liverpool to land 44 million bargain as quick as Alphonso Davies. We can have a gander at that. Liverpool's deadly partnership has just got better as Mohamed Salah has new Sadio Mane. We'll have a look at that. This piece by Carragher. Man United told to sack Eric Ten Hag and boldly replace him with former Liverpool favourite. I'm going to guess that Xabi Alonso. There's zero chance Alonso would take that job. Everton is surprisingly beating Liverpool in one area, but Jurgen Klopp can change it today. Okay. Well, let's have a look at some of these then. So, the pacey star who handled Mohamed Salah is Anthony Robinson. Robinson's a good player, but if you watch him regularly, he is error-prone, and he will cost you goals over the course of the season. He's 26, 27 soon enough. I don't think it would make any sense to bring him in as the long-term replacement for Robbo. Transfer greenlit for Liverpool. Target odds, Daniel Mallon. You'd hope not. Jörg Schmatke could strike again. Who on earth are they talking about? Oh, Jeremy Frimpong. He's really, really talented. Really, really talented. The problem is he's a little bit small, and I'd worry about him as a fullback. He's a wing back. I would worry about him as a fullback if he was been asked to do any sort of fullback defending. Because teams would just torture him with the high ball or put a big lump, a big orc out against him. Liverpool's deadliest partnership has just got better as Mohamed Salah has new Sadio. It's obviously about Mo and Darwin and how good they've been. So that's a piece from Andrew Beasley, so give that one a read. Everton is surprisingly beating Liverpool. What area could they possibly be beating us in other than points deducted, cheating, money owed on all sorts of stuff, defeats? Oh, Everton are higher up in the away table than us. So that's fair. We're currently 9th in the Premier League away table, which, is not ideal. We're top of the home table, 7 wins from 7. Newcastle are second, 7 wins from 8. The only team to go there and take anything was us. Arsenal are top of the away table, but Arsenal have played the easiest away schedule of anybody this season. We're 9th, and we've played the hardest away schedule of anyone this season. We've only lost once away from home, and remember, we did get robbed in that game. But 2 wins and 4 draws is not going to cut the mustard. So you've got to go and win the next 2 games. Simple as that. Go and win the next 2 games, and we'll be in pretty good shape. Yeah. On to AnfieldIndex.com. An in-depth look at Sheffield United's preparation for Liverpool. Defensive options for Liverpool amid injury issues. Can Jarrell Quansah succeed where others have not? Reds' relief after Ben Doak's injury. Scary got injured last night in the 21s game. It looked like it might be a hamstring injury, but apparently it's nothing too serious. And then there's a piece about Joel Matip and could it signal the end of his Liverpool career? And if it is a serious injury, then it's very possible that it will. Podcast-wise, there is the new Scouser Tommies. There is the new Under Pressure. There's a new Scouted. And there is part 2 of the Songs of Anfield podcast. So check all of those out, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite show? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Download the Amazon Music app or visit amazon.com/ad-free sports. That's amazon.com/ad-free sports to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime members. Some shows may have ads.